So, coming in for our last lecture, we talked about the accounts, which would be the building blocks of your accounting cycle. So, last week, we talked about na, in essence, what you really want to do in accounting is that you just want to analyze each account and then identify, okay, which one would be under assets, liabilities, and equity. And then throughout the period, you're going to be tracking the increases and decreases in the specific individual accounting record. So we also mentioned that for practical use, a lot of accountants and a lot of companies use chart of accounts. So the terms, the different names that they use under each account, you can find under your chart of accounts. So this is just a good to know in terms of the technical jargon under accounting. So the last thing that we talked about is that in terms of taking note of each of the individual accounting records, we use what we call the T account. That for each account, the main goal is for us to identify what would be the ending balance for each of the account, and then what would be the different changes happening throughout a particular period. We also mentioned na the concept of debits and credits just mean left and right, and it would mean a different thing whether depending on the normal balance of each of the accounts. So from here, we talked about the parang similarly with the idea that assets should be equal to your liabilities and equity. At all times, your debit should always be equal to your credit. So the one thing that you have to take note is that for each journal entry, kailangan mag-balance siya in each event, right? So your debits and credits should be equal. And the idea here is that every time you have to always take into account that your assets should be equal to your liabilities plus equity, but at the same time, your debit should be equal to your credits. From here, we then asked ourselves, what would be the normal balance for each of the six major components of the accounting equations? And we mentioned na right now, if you look at it, isa lang yung nasa left, your assets, right? But in order to rearrange the equation, we transferred your expense and your owner's drawing to make it positive so that may balance siya, right? Your left accounts are your assets, expense, and owner's drawings. Your right accounts are your liabilities, owner's capital, and revenue. And the reason why this is important is because it will determine what will be their normal balance. So for the ones on the left, their normal balance is a debit. For the ones on the right, their normal balance is a credit. And the idea lang is, if it follows the normal balance, it will increase that particular account. But if it goes against the normal balance, it will decrease the account. So practically, for those that are debit, pag debit asset, debit expense, debit owner's drawing, that means it's an increase in that particular account. But on the other hand, for your liabilities, owner's capital, and revenue, if you want to express that it increases, it would be a credit because it follows the normal balance of the account. And then the opposite will happen, right? So the general idea lang is step 1, understand ano yung normal balance of each accounts. Step 2, understand what the debits and credits would mean for each of the accounts depending on their category, right? So we went through the examples lang na, okay, kung cash, if it's an increase in cash, that would be debit in cash. If it's a decrease in expense, that would be a credit in expense. And then if it's a increase in owner's drawings, that would be a debit in terms of owner's drawings. On the other side of the accounting equation, for those that have your normal credit balances, for liabilities, pag nag-increase siya, that would be a credit in liability or credit in accounts payable. If your owner's capital, it decreases, then that would be a debit in terms of owner's capital. And then finally, for your revenue, if you have an increase in revenue, that would be normally a credit in revenue. So this is the point na we stopped the lecture last time, right? So the general idea should be, before anything else, you should master the normal balances for each of the 6 major components of the accounting equation. With that said, now that alam na natin yun, whenever we make a T account for each of this individual accounting record, we will now understand that, okay, for the ending balance, dapat yan yung normal balance. And then the debit and credits would mean differently. So for us to be practical about it, let's visit a previous example that we tackled in one of our exercises. So this is yung Bullish Launch Agency, right? So the idea here, would be for us to, nung una, we did an advanced transaction analysis for this, right? So we determined what would be the increases in the cash, the different assets, the different liabilities, and the equity. But now, we're gonna apply it in such a way that we're gonna be using journal entries, right? So put the advanced transaction analysis behind, because now what we're gonna be using constantly would be your journal entries. So step one is first study the chart of accounts. So in the chart of accounts, alam niyo lang na okay, these are the number of things that we need to take note of. So typically yung revenue lang niya is 1, which is service revenue. And then, kung kware may employee expense siya, we're gonna be calling it salaries expense under 726. And then, whenever they have marketing expenses, rather than saying marketing expenses, we're gonna be using advertising expense. So, that's basically just a review in terms of how to use the chart of accounts. You're just gonna be copying 1:1 kung ano yung naka-state and then determine which among these chart accounts would we be using for each of the particular transactions. And then this is just another. So when you look at it, if you're gonna count the different assets, the liabilities, all the way to your expenses, you'll notice na there's around 16 items. So in a given accounting period, at the worst case scenario, you have to be prepared to do 16 accounts. Na, for example, kailangan may account ka for cash, and then what you're gonna be doing is, ano ba yung normal ending balance ni cash, and then what would be the different things that will be affecting cash. Right? So, for each of the chart of accounts, the expectation is, if merong may journal entry, you'll be able to do the T accounts for the different 16. So, we left off coming in with our advanced transaction analysis, right? So, nag-balance siya in terms of each of the accounts and also in terms of your assets is equal to your liabilities plus equity. So, for example, how do we make a T account, right? So, coming in from your advanced transaction analysis, the first question is, for cash, what is the normal balance of your cash? Is it debit or credit? Debit, right? Because it's an asset, right? So kung debit yung asset, we now have to translate yung understanding natin from the table, right? So in number 1, 435,000 increase, that would be a debit or credit? Debit, right? So that's a debit in cash. Yung credit, 120,000 would be your credit. And then for each of the events, basically you just follow the sign. So kung decrease of 80 is credit, increase of 450,000 is debit, debit of 250,000, decrease of is credit 21,000, credit of 5,500, credit of 38,000, credit of 405,000, and then finally the last debit would be 40,000. And then at the end of your period, ang gagawin nyo lang is pagbabangga nyo. So what does that mean? You're gonna get the subtotals of your debit. So if you add those 4, that would be 1,175,000. And then you'll get your credits. So that's 669,000. So pagbabanggain nyo lang, right? So ano yung mas malaki? The debit side, because that's usually what happens naman. So if you subtract 669 minus 1,175,000, you'll get the ending balance of 505,000. So whenever I say create a T account for an asset or any other particular component, this is what you do. What you're looking for is your ending balance, and you know that throughout the different periods, meron siyang increases and decreases. Pero now, we're categorizing it in terms of debits and credits. And basically, it will follow the advanced transaction analysis that you're already familiar with. So same exercise when it comes to your liabilities and your expenses. So let's first review. What is your normal balance for your accounts payable? That's a liability. Is it a debit or a credit? Credit, right. For expense, what's the normal balance? Debit or credit? Debit. Okay, correct. So now, we're gonna be looking at the different transactions that are happening. So for example, yung 40,000 na expense, since technically when you incur an expense, your expense increases. That will be, so accounts payable muna. So the accounts payable increased by, so that's a credit of 78,000. And then, your accounts payable went down, so that would be a debit. So baliktad siya because liability. So, you subtotal, pagbabanggain nyo, and then at the end, mas malaki ng 40,000. So that would be the ending balance. So it's a credit of 40,000 for your accounts payable. On the other hand, for your expense, when you incur an expense, it increases. So that will be a debit of 80,000. So wag kayong malito, in the advanced transaction analysis, naka-parenthesis siya because technically binabawasan niya yung equity natin. But that's basically an increase in your expense. Another part was another expense was incurred. So technically, puro debits lang naman yung mangyayari in your expense. So when you add those two together, three together, you'll get the ending balance of 583,000. Any questions for this part or clear pa naman so far? Okay. Wait lang ah. Naka-record kasi tayo. But generally, the three things to take note is assets, expenses, and owner's drawings have debit. And then the rest are credit. Right? Makes sense. Like asset, nasa left siya. And then yung mga expense and owner's drawings would be. When the expense happens and then it's an increase in expense, it's gonna be debit. Yeah. Kasi yun yung normal balance niya. So, kuwari nagkamali ka. Like, for example, in the first part, sabi niya, yung rent expense ko pala 80,000. So, debit 80,000. And then, merong mga times na nagkakamali ka na, ay, hindi pala 80,000. 70,000 lang pala. So, magkakaroon ka ng correcting entry na less 10,000 expense. That's the only time you'll decrease that expense and that will be a credit of 10,000. But, generally, ito to happen will be, pag nag-i-increase ka na expense, puro debit lang yun. Yeah. No. So, I only use this kasi advanced transaction analysis. Pero when you do the T account, parang it could be just normal values. Ang pinaka-important lang is, kailangan tama yung ending balance nyo. Right? So, this is just for appreciation purposes because para lang mag-gets nyo, bakit tayo gumagawa ng journal entries? Pero at the end of the day, we're doing computing for the ending balance. Yes? Yeah. So, this one, kinopya ko lang kasi from the advanced transaction analysis. So, parang, di ba, dun sa advanced transaction analysis, parang hindi lang kayo malito, naka-parenthesis lang yung expense. Pero, we treat it as an additional expense. So, that expense is an increase in the expense account. So, this is just para lang makita nyo na from advanced transaction, increase siya sa debit. Pero that's really an addition. Right? Hindi naman. Yeah, parang again, as long as alam nyo kung ano yung debit and credit, the signs wouldn't be important. What's important is your ending balance. Right? So, parang pa rin, the question is, what is the total expense? The answer is 563,000. Right? Go. Yeah, so it's gonna be parang not an abnormal account. So parang may mga special cases yon na, parang dapat normally an accounts payable would be a credit. Bakit naging debit? And then there are special scenarios here. Pero just so that simplified lang tayo now, usually and typically, kung ano lang yung normal balance niya, yun lang yung talaga yung ending balance. So magtaka na kayo kung kwari at the end, bakit mas may debit ako ng accounts payable? You're probably doing something wrong. Pag in the basic ano. Good questions. Any other questions? Yeah. So I think now that we're all clear, we can now go into the journal entries, right? So whenever I say a T account, always think about creating a T and then looking for your ending balance. With that said, we can now go into the steps in the recording process. So the first step is analyze the transaction, and now we're going to be focusing on journalizing the entries because by doing that, we can then create our financial statements. So again, we're gonna go back to our previous example, so Bullish Launch Agency. Pero this, for the sake of illustration, we're gonna be looking at lang different particular accounts for this. So coming in from that particular exercise, gumawa na tayo ng advanced transaction analysis. The step now would be two things. Every time you see an event, the first thing that you have to do is you're gonna be creating a journal entry. So this row represents one event or one transaction. So every time may transaction ka, you'll create a journal entry. So that's a per transaction entry. So whenever I say create a journal entry, one event one journal entry. One transaction, one journal entry. On the other hand, whenever we have to compile everything already, so ang example ng journal entry would be, kuwari, I invested 435,000 cash to start the agency. What you need to do is to create your first journal entry. So journal entry 1, tumaas yung cash ng 435,000, so that would be a debit in cash of 435,000. Tumaas yung owner's equity ng 435,000. Owner's equity has a normal credit balance. So, credit owner's equity 435,000. And the reason how the system is set up is so that palaging may partner yung debits and credits. So, debit cash 435,000, credit owner's equity 435,000. In this one transaction, you're able to create a journal entry that's comprised of at least one debit, one credit, and then nagbabalance siya, right? Nagbalance yung 435 on your left, and nagbalance yung 435,000 on your right? Debits and credits. So that's basically what we are aiming to do. And every time we have a transaction, we create a journal entry. And then, at the end of the period, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way until 12. We have 12 transactions for that particular account. So at least 12 journal entries yung gagawin natin. Right? So, you'll imagine may 12 journal entries. Pero, usually, one of the things that you wanna do is also create an account ledger, which will tell you the ending balance. So, dito yung gagawin natin yung T account. Wherein, we're gonna be creating na from each journal entry, we're gonna be compiling them in a T account, or the formal version of it is what you call an account ledger. So, just to appease everyone, this is just for illustration purposes. For the purposes of our class, we're only gonna be doing T accounts at most. And quite rare pa yon. So, the more important thing I want us to know is, kailangan tama yung mga journal entries nyo. Kasi, garbage in, garbage out. Pag mali yung mga pag-tag nyo ng journal entries nyo, mali na yung T account nyo. So, the focus of today's lecture would be understanding the journal entries first, and then figuring out how everything ties together until we go to our financial statements. So, with that said, like what we've mentioned, you have 12 accounts here, 12 transactions here. So, what you'll expect is you'll make 12 journal entries. And then from the 12 journal entries, you're gonna make an account ledger per account transaction. So, since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 accounts to, you're gonna be making 10 T accounts, right? But again, yun yung gagawin mo if you're gonna be able to do the full accounting cycle. So again, journal entries are per transaction, per row. T accounts is per column or per account transaction. So, to have a clear idea, let's take a look at creating the journal entries. So, we'll walk through it naman. So, official definition lang for theory. The reason why we call it the journal entry is we put it in what we call a journal. So, it's what we call our book of original entry. And the general idea lang is that journal will show you ano ba yung effects ng debit and credit. The most important concept here is the idea of a double entry system. So, every time may journal entry ka, you have at least one credit, one debit. At least. Kaya double entry. In terms of types, you have two types of journals. You have your general journal wherein lahat ng mangyayari sa company is under the general journal. All of your revenues, all of your expenses, all of your sales, your receipts, your disbursements, lahat nakalagay sa general journal. So if you have 12 transactions, 12 journal entries will be in your general journal. However, parang hassle naman kung titingnan nyo yung general journal for particular types of transactions. So, in order to make it easier, some companies have special journals wherein they record similar types of transactions. So, rather than going through thousands and thousands of entries in your general journal, if you only have like 5 sales journal entries, you're gonna look at a sales journal or a purchase journal or a cash receipt. So, wag kayong malito. The general idea lang is lahat ng journal entries nasa general journal, but there are similar transactions that can be found in special journals, such as your sales, your purchases, your cash receipts, and your cash disbursement. So this is just an example of your general journal, right? So parang ito yung picture niya, nandyan lahat ng journal entries nyo. But in your special journal, like a cash receipt, puro mga cash receipts lang yung makikita nyo in this particular. So again, this is just for appreciation. Ang importante lang is alam nyo yung difference between your general and special journal. So now, we're gonna be looking into creating our journal entry, which is basically our formal entry of a transaction to a journal. So again, every time there's a transaction, your goal is to turn that into a journal entry, right? And merong mga different components yung journal entry. This is the strict form. In our exercises, in your solutions, in our quizzes, the only thing I care about would be the two lines, your debits and your credits. And then, kindly take note, whenever you write debits, nandito siya, so it's on your leftmost. And then yung to show na it's a credit, you need to indent it, right? So, debit, credit. Itong two lines lang na to yung important. So, but just so that familiar tayo in terms of the different parts, the first thing is we'll need the date, right? So, when did the transaction happen? The next thing would be the reference number. So, kailangan yung reference nyo here in chart of accounts, if this is cash, merong reference number. And then 301 is owner's equity, so may reference number ka. You have credit, at least one credit and one debit para double entry accounting system. And then the explanation, right? So, sobrang daming kailangan gawin in a normal journal entry. But the only thing I care about for our class would be, at the very least, the debits and the credits, right? As long as tama yung pag-analyze nyo ng transaction, that should be fine. Some students, they prefer to add the dates para lang hindi rin sila malito. So those are at the minimum, the things that we're looking at. Now, the reason why, again, it's a double entry accounting system is that there is at least one debit, one credit, and at all times, every time may journal entry ka, kailangan mag-balance siya. So 435, it balances. And that's why it's called your double entry accounting system. So, whenever I say, make sure balance siya kasi your debits is equal to your credits. So now that we're clear, so gets na natin na, okay, this first row or one transaction is equal to one journal entry. Let's now try to journalize those items or entries. Pero, para hindi tayo ma-overwhelm, let's just practice with 4. Pero syempre, since alam nyo naman na yung advanced transaction, you can practice it naman on your own. Right? So, first thing, we invested 435,000 cash to start the agency. We already know na that's a debit in cash. And then, dahil nag-infuse ka ng capital, meron kang, so, dahil nag-increase yung cash, that will be debit cash of 435,000. So, this is how I usually think. Okay, nag-invest ka ng cash. That's an increase in cash of 435,000. Automatic, that's a debit of cash. And then, it's an owner's investment. So, my owner's capital increases. Owner's capital has a normal credit account and it increased. So, that will be a credit of 435,000. The last thing I will check is balance ba? Is my debits equal to my credits? Yes. So, this would be a correct journal entry. So, the general idea here is that meron kang 4 particular items. Ang gagawin mo lang is ipagbabangga mo siya in terms of like the different T accounts. But for us to be able to do that, we need to understand muna the different accounts, right? So, let's go to number 5. We incurred 78,000 of advertising cost for Facebook ads on account. So, what happened in number 5 would be, you incurred 78,000. Obviously, this is gonna be your advertising expense, right? So, nag-increase si expense. Nag-incur ka pa lang. Binayaran mo ba ng cash? Not yet. So, that would be a utang. That would be a payable. So, that would be an accounts payable of 78. So, anong nangyayari is, Tumaas si accounts payable, tumaas si expense. So what would that look like? Our expense increased, so that would be a debit advertising expense of 78,000. Our accounts payables increased. The normal balance of an accounts payable is credit, so accounts payable credit of 78,000. The last check, nagbalance ba? Yes, nagbalance. 78,000 and 78,000. So debit advertising expense, credit accounts payable, 78,000. So let's go to the next question. Number 6. So number 6, the problem now is, parang bakit naging tatlo? Right? We're used na 1 debit, 1 credit. So how do we do this? First thing is, we're gonna take note, performed services worth 650,000. Whenever you hear that, that means meron kang revenue, right? You have your service revenue. Your service revenue increased by 650,000. So, dahil tumaas ang revenue, that would be a debit or credit in revenue? Credit in revenue. So, may credit na tayo ng revenue of 650,000. So, service revenue, 650,000. Your expectation is, sorry, pangit yung expectation nyo is meron na kayong credit of 650. Your expectation is meron kang missing debit here, pero 650 pa rin, right? Para mag-balance, right? So now let's go to the 250,000 cash is received from the customer. So tumaas ng cash natin by 250. So debit or credit? Debit. 400,000 is billed to customers on account. Ano to? Accounts receivable, which is an asset. So, dapat debit or credit? Debit. So, ang mangyayari is, rather than the typical debit of 650, your cash increased by 250. 250. Your accounts receivable increased by 400. So, double entry pa rin siya in the sense that your debits is equal to your credits. Pero, it doesn't mean na hindi pwedeng mas marami yung debits or mas marami yung credits. The general idea is the total debits should equal total credits per journal entry account. So, for this, ito yung itsura niya. Debit cash, debit accounts receivable, 250, 400. Service revenue, credit of 650,000. So, again, double entry accounting. Ang tawag natin sa journal entry na to is a compound journal entry. Compound siya kasi it's at least parang may isang more than 1 credit or more than 1 debit. Depende na lang. Pero at least 3 yung accounts that are affected. And then lastly, for illustration purposes, you paid the 38,000 of the amount due in transaction 5. So, what would that be? Nagbayad ka. Your cash decreases. So, that would be a debit or credit cash? Credit cash. So, meron kang credit cash of 30,000. What will happen to the amount due? So, ano yung mababawasan natin? The payable. Right? So, yung liabilities nyo, magde-decrease. So, therefore, your accounts payable will be debited because it decreased. Right? So, debit accounts payable, credit cash of 38,000. So, at this point, basically ganun lang. So, in the exams and the quizzes, what you can expect is merong long prob na mga around 5 to 7 transactions. And the output lang needed is what's the journal entries, right? So, it's more about understanding lang the different components. Any questions before? So usually what you'll do is parang transaction 1. So, transactions A, B, C, D, E. So for A, ito yung journal entry ko. For B, ganun. So at least 1 space lang. Yeah. Yeah.
Hindi po ba inaayos according to amount ng mga components?
Okay. Good question. So, so in terms of this, so I think mas particular for the compound journal entry yung question. Kasi ano ba unahin mo? AR ba or cash? Some prefer in terms of liquidity. So what's the meaning of liquidity? how liquid is it or how close is it to cash, right? So, syempre, ang pinaka-liquid is cash because cash is the closest. And then, accounts receivable is the closer to cash. So, some people prefer that. Pero for me, won't be strict. Ang importante is, kailangan mag-balance siya, yung debit and credit. What would make this wrong? Kuwari, ito 200,000, ito 400,000. Ang total niya is 600,000. And then ito 650. That's automatically wrong, regardless of your entry. Yeah. I hope I was able to answer. Yeah. Yeah. So, ito yung step 1. So, every time may transaction, we're gonna be asking ourselves, ano ba yung mangyayari on a journal entry? Pero parang kware, what if I ask you, based on these 4 transactions, what is the T account for cash? So, ang gagawin mo lang is, the question would be, given these 4 transactions, what is the ending balance of cash? Dun ka gagawa ng T account, right? So, debit of 435, here, debit, cash of 250, 250, and then nabawasan ka ng cash of 38. So, i-add mo lang to, and then you'll find your ending balance. So, that's where the T account comes in. So, actually, perfect segue to the ledgers or posting the transactions. So, step 1 in accounting, you see the transaction. Step 2, you analyze it and make your journal entries. The step 3 is what you'll call posting the transaction. So, isa-summarize nyo na what happens in the journal entry. So, in the ledger, this is your summary of changes in a particular account. So, kware, like what I've mentioned, yung cash. These are the different transactions that affected cash. So, it will show you your beginning balance. So, at the start of the company, 0 siya. And then, because of the 12 transactions, meron kang debits and credits. Pero at the end, you'll have your ending balance. So, like what I've mentioned, this is just the more formal version of what we call our T account. So, our journal entry is just our formal version of our transaction. And then our T account is the account ledger is just the formal version of our T account. So, in this class, kailangan gets nyo lang na in accounting in the real world, what they do are ledgers. So, the ledgers is the summary of changes in a different account. So, that's what you call a ledger. Pero tayo, dahil simplified yung version natin, all we're gonna be doing is create journal entries and then create a T account depending on what's being asked. Right? So, how does it work in terms of a ledger? Para lang may appreciation tayo. So, again, journal entry per transaction, ledger per account. So, ilang accounts yung nandito sa journal entry na to? Dalawa, right? So, you have the cash account and the owner's equity. Now, ang gagawin mo is you're gonna post the transactions to your different ledgers. So, yung 435,000, you're gonna post it to your cash ledger at 435. Yung owner's equity, you're gonna post that into your ledger here in the credit. So, yun lang yung meaning ng posting the account. Pero, whenever we do a T account, technically, yun rin naman yung ginagawa natin. Right? So, basically, yun lang yung simplified processes. Every time you have a transaction, you create the journal entry, and then after you've done your journal entry, you'll do your T accounts to summarize lang the different changes that are affecting each individual accounting record. And then the last thing is, in order for us to check kung balanse ba yung debits and your credits, the last tool that accountants use would be your trial balance. So, di ba, in the ledger, what you'll be able to do is identify the ending balances of each of the individual accounting records. At the end, this is not a statement. It's not a financial statement. It's just a list of accounts and balances. Ang gagawin nyo lang is, you're gonna be listing down your debits and your credits. Ito yung mga ending balance nila. And then you just have to check, nag-balance ba yung debits and credits ko? And that's the reason why it's called a trial balance. You're just basically checking whether the ending balances of your accounts in terms of their normal ending balances are equal in terms of debits is equal to your credits. So, in terms of the trial balance, more than parang needing to figure it out now, parang I just want you to take note of the format. So what's the format of the trial balance? It will start muna with the name of the company. Next is the term trial balance. And then, similar to your balance sheet, it's gonna be on a particular date, right? So, September 30, 2022. Step 2 is you just list down your accounts. If you're gonna be noticing, these are your asset accounts, these are your liabilities accounts, your equity, owner's capital, owner's drawings, revenues, and expenses. So, similar lang in terms of how we typically write the accounting equation. So, assets muna, liabilities, owner's capital, owner's drawings, revenue, expenses. And then, may dalawa ka lang column. Ano ba yung normal ending balance? Debits for your assets, credits for your liabilities, credits for your owner's capital, debit for your owner's drawing, credit for your revenue, and then debits for your expenses. And then, you're just gonna add all of these together and you should just prove na yung debits ko is equal to my credits. So basically, that's the purpose of your trial balance. Yes? Correct. Yung ending balance ng T account. So, di ba, journal entry, gagawa ka ng T accounts per account, malalaman mo na yung ending balance of each, and then this is the end output. Just to test kung meron ka bang any mistakes na ginawa in terms of the journal entries or in terms of your postings. That's why there's a big misconception na accounting is primarily bookkeeping kasi sobrang matrabaho siya. As in, parang you'll do the entries, you'll have to do the T accounts, and then you'll do a trial balance na looks complicated pero honestly is just a tool to check kung nag-balance ba yung debits and credits mo, right? So, ang dami niyang tools, ang dami niyang processes, right? So, only to prove that your debits is equal to your credits, right? So, in your advanced transaction analysis, technically, yun lang yung mga subtotals or the ending balances of each of your account. So, debit yung 505, receivables, so puro assets muna. And then after that, you're gonna do your liabilities. And then you're gonna do your owner's capital, which is credit. Owner's drawings is your debit. Revenues is your credit. And then finally, your different debit balances. And then 1 million, magbabalance siya. So, medyo a lot to take into, right? So now, let's apply to be more practical. So ito na yung mga mas practical knowledge in terms of like the exercises that you're gonna be doing. So typically, how we're gonna be doing it is that we're gonna be analyzing a company. And then there's probably mga around 5 to 7 transactions. So for this case, what we're gonna be tackling is Kevin Trin Welding for the month of June. And then, para good exercise, try to answer it with me in terms of creating the journal entries, right? So, we're gonna be tackling our entries from June 1 all the way to June 19. So, first thing, whenever I see this type of problem, 5 yung nangyaring transactions. So, in my head, okay, probably, at worst, they're gonna make me do 5 journal entries, right? So, that's the first thing I think about. And then, I'll take it day by day, right? Or transaction by transaction. So step 1, or June 1, Kevin Trin invests 4,000 in terms of cash in a small welding business. What happens here? So first, invest 4,400 cash. So that would be what? Debit or credit cash? Debit cash of 4,400. Next, nag-invest siya. So what's the account that's affected? Owner's capital, which would be credit, 4,400. So the journal entry lang is debit cash, 4,400. Credit, owner's equity, 4,400. Question. If the problem asks, what is the beginning balance of your owner's capital for Kevin Trin? What's the answer to that question? 0. So every time nagsa-start yung company, ang beginning balance is 0. This is treated as an investment, right? So, owner's equity, right? So, yun yung mga common things that people overlook. So, step 1, okay, we're good now with the journal entries. Next, you purchase your equipment on account for 990. So, obviously, your equipment increased, right? So, that would be a debit 990. Anong individual accounting record yung affected if it says purchase on account? accounts payable, which is a liability. So, therefore, your journal entry would be, my equipment increased by 990, so that's a debit in equipment. My accounts payable increased kasi tumaas yung utang ko. That's gonna be a credit of accounts payable, 990. Third, 880 cash is paid for the landlord for the June rent, right? So, for this one, wala muna tayong concept of prepaid rent. I just wanna highlight that it's probably gonna be an expense in terms of this. So, sorry, for this one, assume na lang na they've already consumed the expense. So, for this, it's gonna be an expense of 880. So, your expense increased, so debit rent expense. Credit cash of 880, right? So, for this particular exercise, we just wanna illustrate na this is how you normally account for an expense. And then, finally, the last two would be, you earned service 930 for the work done on account. So, this would be a, tumaas yung revenue nyo. So, is that a debit or credit service revenue? Credit service revenue. And then, ano yung tumaas na debit? Accounts receivable, right? So, debit accounts receivable of 930, credit service revenue of 930. And then, from that June 12 transaction, you received 450 from Jaylong as a partial payment of previously billed work. What will happen will be, naka-receive ka ng cash, so debit, 450, pero bumaba yung accounts receivable mo. So credit, accounts receivable, 450. So with that said, with the 5 transactions, basically, ito na yung 5 journal entries nyo. So all you need to do is understand which accounts are affected, and then determine ano ba yung increase or decrease, and then properly categorize it. So, by the time that we'll have our quiz on Thursday, please make sure na second nature na sa inyo na pag tumaas yung cash, debit. Kapag tumaas yung revenue, credit yan. Pag tumaas yung expense, debit. So, it has to be that intuitive, that fast. And the way to do that is through answering the problem set and parang repeating it in terms of the process. So, step 1, done. Journalize the entries. Step 2, we're gonna be posting these entries in terms of our different accounts. So now, we're gonna tell me, ilan pong T accounts yung gagamitin natin? For me, rather than figuring out how many T accounts, always just tackle it on a per journal entry account. So for example, starting with journal entry 1, ilang T accounts yung gagawin ko? 2 lang. The T account for cash and owner's equity. Yun pa lang muna, right? So, I need to account what are the changes that happened. The beginning balance for all of these accounts are 0 kasi kakastart lang ng company. So, yung 4,400, that's a debit in cash. So, kukopyahin nyo lang. Debit, debit. And then 4,400 credit, credit. So, from the journal entry, gagawa lang ako ng T account 4444. We're done now with journal entry 1. Journal entry 2 introduces 2 new accounts. Your equipment and your accounts payable. So, gagawa rin ako ng journal, 2 T accounts. Property, plant, and expense or equipment, and your accounts payable. And then, I just copy or I post. So, debit equipment, 990. Credit accounts payable, 990. Third journal entry. Ang 2 accounts is rent expense in cash. Meron na tayong T account for cash. So, the only T account that I'll make is the rent expense. So, from here, I will just post debit rent expense of 880, credit cash of 880. So, nag-decrease yung cash, so nandun siya sa credit side. Next, accounts receivable and service revenue. Wala pa tayong accounts receivable, wala pa tayong service revenue. So, I'll make another 2 T accounts. And then, I will just post debit accounts receivable, credit, service, revenue. And then finally, the last journal entry is debit cash, credit accounts receivable. So all we have to do, meron na tayong T accounts for those. So all we have to do is to post 450 and 450 na credit. And then the last thing that you'll have to do is to pagbabanggain natin. So if you add this is 4,400 plus 450, that's 4,850, minus 880, you'll still have a normal debit balance of 3,070. And then the rest, copy lang. So credit of owner's capital of 4,400, debit of property, plant, and equipment of 900, credit for your accounts payable, debit for your expense, and then sa receivables, pagbabanggain ulit, pero it will still have a normal debit balance, and then you'll have your revenues. So, ito na yung ita-trial balance natin. So, this is basically how to post. So, from your journal entry, take it per entry, and then make the T accounts as you go. And then the goal is for you to arrive with the ending balances for each of the individual accounting records. Any questions at this point or clear? Yeah.
I want to clarify lang po for journal entry one. Bakit siya called owner's equity rather than owner's capital?
It's So, owner's equity, owner's capital is interchangeable naman in terms of like different companies. Depende lang siya sa chart of accounts. So, I think for this one, the reason why naka-owner's equity siya kasi dun sa chart of accounts, it's called owner's equity. So, for continuity's sake, if you put equity here, then that should be fine as well. Yeah. Any other questions? Clear? So, the last step is we're gonna make the trial balance. So, the trial balance, titignan nyo lang yung ilan to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will start with my trial balance. So, name of company, Kevin Trin Welding. The name of the tool, trial balance. And then, rather than for the period ending, it's the specific date. And then, you'll list down your assets. You'll list down your liabilities. And then, owner's capital, owner's drawing, service revenue, rent expense. And then, you're just gonna transfer it. So, 3,970, AR of 480, so AR of 480. Accounts payable is here, which is, equipment. So, that's 990. And then, accounts payable, you'll have 990. Owner's capital of 4,400. Owner's drawings, wala tayong owner's drawings, so 0 to. Service revenue of 930, and then rent expense of 880. And then it will balance 6,320. So basically, that's the first type of journal entries. So that would be your simple journal entries. Now, for the next part of the lesson, I will now introduce yung closing entries that we're gonna be doing. So, like what I've mentioned, in accounting, you have different kinds of entries. But in terms of the financial statement creation, you have your normal journal entries. You'll have your adjusting entries at the end of the month, at the end of each month, and then at the end of the year, when you're closing the books, you'll have what you call closing entries. So, chronologically, what will happen is, normal journal entries, I'll make a trial balance. Adjusting entries, I'll make a post-adjusting trial balance. And then I'll close closing entries, and then I'll do a post-closing trial balance. So, hassle siya, pakinggan. So, I'm not gonna parang spam the exercises ng puro trial balance. What I want you to focus on are the entries themselves. So, we're done with the normal journal entries. On Thursday, we'll talk about adjusting entries. Pero now, I want you to familiarize yourselves with closing entries. Why? Because closing entries are 4 entries lang that will happen at the end of the year. And then it's more of memorization and familiarization more than anything. So, to give you more time to familiarize yourselves, parang I'd rather discuss it now para by Thursday next week, mas gamay nyo na siya. So, what does closing the books mean? So, closing the books means that you're closing it at the end of the accounting period. In essence, you're trying to make the different accounts ready for the next period. Whenever you talk to different accountants or different finance people, whenever you close the books, what that would mean is you close your temporary accounts. So the next question is, what are temporary accounts? The temporary accounts are different from your permanent accounts. So, or ang tawag sa temporary accounts are nominal accounts. The reason why they're called temporary accounts is that these are the accounts that only affect one accounting period. So what are those? Those are the things that are found in your income statement and your changes in owner's equity statements. So, lahat ng revenue accounts nyo, lahat ng expenses, and lahat ng owner's drawings, all of these are what you call temporary accounts or nominal accounts. The reason being is because the revenues, expenses, and owner's drawings only affect one accounting period. For example, for the year of 2025, I earned, or parang the business earns 100,000 pesos, let's say. And then you incur also expenses in terms of rent worth 50,000. So may 50,000 expenses ka. Yung revenues and expense mo for this year is only for this year. Next year, wala ka naman pake what your expenses and revenues are of last year. So, lahat ng revenues, lahat ng expenses, lahat ng owner's drawings, it only affects this particular accounting period. When you go to the next year, wala ka naman ng pakialam what your past revenues are or past expenses are. In contrast, your permanent accounts usually refer to your assets, liabilities, and owner's capital. So for example, I bought a laptop this year. It's an asset. Next year, may laptop pa rin ako, right? So it affects two different accounting periods. That's why it's permanent. Unlike an expense, a liability also crosses accounting periods. Umutang ka sa bank this year. Kailangan mo siyang bayarin within the next 5 years. That liability will affect not only this year, but next year. Kaya the idea here is, your permanent accounts are those found in your balance sheet. Your assets, your liabilities, and your owner's capital. The temporary ones are those that are revenue, expenses, owner's drawings. So now that we're clear about the distinction between temporary and permanent, when you close the books, all you have to do is zero out your revenues, your expenses, and your owner's drawings. So it feels foreign, but if you look at it from a financial statement perspective, mas magigets nyo. So, review. Financial statements. We have 3. You have your income statement, you have your changes in owner's equity, and your balance sheet. They have different purposes. Your income statement is meant to determine your net income or your net loss. From here, ang relationship lang niya dun sa intersection would be, yung revenues and expenses mo, technically, you reduce it to one line item, which is net income and net loss. You transfer it to the next statement. In the changes in owner's equity, net income or net loss is just but one portion that affects the increases and decreases of your ending capital. So, yung changes in owner's equity, you're reducing your owner's drawings, your net income and net loss into your ending capital. The only thing that will survive will be your total equity na magkakaroon tayo sa balance sheet. So, whenever you close the accounts, technically, ang ginagawa nyo lang is you zero these out para lang lumabas siya dun sa balance sheet nyo. So, more practical example. You have your income statement, you have your revenues and expenses, pero you'll only care about your net income so that ma-plug in nyo siya here in your changes in owner's equity. In changes in owner's equity, all you care about is to find your owner's ending capital so that ang matira na lang is your owner's capital of 7,440. So, these things found in your balance sheet, these are your permanent accounts. While yung owner's drawings and all of your revenues and expenses accounts are all temporary. Because at the end of the day, you're zeroing them out para lang matawid mo yung owner's capital for the next period. So that's what closing the account means. So, the 4 steps that you need to do is close your revenue account, close your expense account, and then close your net income to owner's capital, and then close your owner's drawing to owner's capital. Para ang matira na lang is one account, which is your owner's capital that we will be using for the next period. So, in order to do that, we're gonna be creating your closer entries. So, required ba ang closing entries? The answer is yes. It's always required at the end of the period, wherein we'll close our temporary accounts to owner's capital. So, ang mangyayari is that lahat ipapasok natin to our owner's capital or ending total owner's equity. So, lahat ng expenses, revenues, and owner's drawing, we're all gonna be zeroing them out. And usually, it's made on the last day of the accounting period, right? So that's why apat siya. So technically, these are the 4 state things that you're gonna be creating. So the goal lang is for us to be able to find a way to transfer all of the effects to our owner's capital, right? So kindly take note of the 4 journal entries, 4 closing entries. So closing entries, usually, madali siyang gawin if you already understand your income statement, right? So step 1, let's first close all of our revenue accounts. So how much is our total revenues? 10,400. Ano ang normal balance ng revenues? Debit or credit? Credit. So credit, 10,400. If I tell you to make this 0, what will you do? Debit, 10,400, right? So, and then ito, the normal balance of expenses are debits. So, if I wanna zero out my expenses of 6,960, what do I need to do? I will credit naman, right? So, kailangan nyo lang tabihan, right? So, when I say, the first step is to close the revenue account, we will now introduce a new accounting record called the income summary. So, yung income summary, that's your pseudo net income, net loss. Ginagamit nyo lang to para lang ma-zero out si revenue and expenses. So, and then at the end, it will disappear. Pang-transfer lang siya to your owner's capital. So, para lang ma-appreciate nyo, let's see how it would work. So again, I wanna close my revenue accounts. I wanna make this 0. What do I need to do? I will debit 10,400. Pero, double accounting system tayo. Ano yung i-credit ko? You will credit your income summary. Right? So, to make the 0, I will debit sales revenue and then I will credit income summary. So, yun yung magka-partner. That's your first journal entry. Debit, sales revenue. So, na-zero out to. So, na-zero out. So, this is your first closing entry. List down your revenues and then close it by crediting your income statement of 10,400. Right? Next would be your expenses. I will close my expense. What do I have to do? I will have to credit 6,960 worth. So, pero dahil different line item siya, I will need to make a compound journal entry that looks like this. Debit income summary, kasi this is technically to offset the 6,960 na credit. And then all of my credits are just the names of the different expenses. So by doing that, you're able to zero out your revenues and expenses. Zero na si ending balance for revenues. Zero na yung service expenses that you're able to do. All of them can be found in your income summary, right? And then at the end, you will find that you will have a credit balance of 3,440. Now, what is the normal balance of your owner's capital? Debit or credit? Credit, right? So every time may credit ka on your equity account, that's an increase in your owner's equity. It makes sense. Your revenue is bigger than your expenses. So this remaining credit, pag binagbangga nyo siya, the credit side is higher. So now you'll have a credit of 3,440 in your income summary. That will highlight na it's a net income. So in the first 2 steps, ang ginawa lang natin is close your revenues, close your expenses to this account called income summary. At the end, ito lang yung ito yung current subtotal balance ni income summary. Once we have that, so na-close na natin si revenue and expenses to your income. The next step is now we're gonna be closing our income summary to our owner's capital. Right? So how would that work? Right now, may 3,440 tayo. That represents our net income. All of those, papasok siya here in your 7,440. And then in this particular example, we have owner's drawing of 2,000. What's the normal account for owner's drawings? It's a debit. So, may debit ka of 2,000. Right? So now, ang kailangan nating i-zero out is si income summary and si owner's drawing. To our owner's capital. Saan nanggaling yung 6,000 na to? Doon sa initial investment. Diba? Nung nakita nyo kanina, may 6,000 dito. May initial investment ka of 6,000. All we have to do is zero out income summary and zero out owner's drawings. How do you zero out this credit of 3,440? What will you do? Debit 3,440. Saan yung accompanying credit mo? Sa owner's capital, right? So from here, debit of 3,440, 3,004. So your third journal entry account would be debit income summary, which is the total of your net income or net loss, and then credit owner's capital of 3,440. And then for owner's drawings, how do you zero this out? You need a credit. So kailangan niya ng matching debit to your owner's capital. So your fourth journal entry would be debit owner's capital 2,000, credit owner's drawings of 2,000. The effect of that is the ending balance of 7,440, which is this, your ending capital, na ita-transfer mo na to your balance sheet. So in closing, technically what we're doing is zeroing out our temporary accounts para ang matira na lang are those that are in the balance sheet or your permanent accounts. So, ito lang yung 4 journal entries that you have to do. Kindly take note na the process will be different kung net loss siya, right? Kasi kailangan mag-balance out yung income summary. So, we'll try to give an example later. Pero please study this in preparation. Pero these are the 4 entries lang that you'll be needing for your closing entries. So, again, just to summarize, you'll have revenues and expenses, you zero it out to your income summary. And then yung income summary is zero out mo lang to your owner's capital. And then your owner's drawings also, you zero out to your owner's drawings. So again, how did that look like? We closed the revenue account and then we put it into our income summary. We closed our expense account and then we put it in our income summary. And then our income summary, we close it so that it would affect our owner's capital. And then our owner's drawings, we close to our owner's capital. Para lang matira is our owner's capital. Yun lang yung thing that we're looking out for. So again, the idea is we're zeroing out our temporary accounts so that it's only our permanent accounts that will last to 2 or more accounting periods. And then, para lang alam nyo na rin what the post-closing trial balance is. So this is what our trial balance looks like before closing entries. Yun. So, this is what your post-closing trial balance looks like. Na lahat ng revenues, lahat ng expenses, and owner's drawings, they're all zeroed out. So, ang natitira na lang is your balance sheet. For me, don't worry about post-closing or post-adjusting trial balance. At the very least, parang simple trial balance lang yung kailangan. But, I just want you to understand na that's how it usually works. So, ang matitira lang is your permanent accounts. Mazi-zero out yung temporary accounts. So, zero out lahat ng temporary accounts in terms of your closing entries. So, by now, we're already leveled up from transaction analysis roadmap. Today, we already understand level 2. Parang gets na natin tong level 2 in terms of like our journal entry accounts. On Thursday, we're gonna be talking about adjusting entries. And I think yung adjusting entries yung medyo intuitive naman siya, pero something that will need to be able to and then we'll adjust it. And then finally, you'll have your full accounting cycle. So we're done now with 1, with 3, with 4. Ito na lang yung aralan natin. So 5, 6, 7 alam na natin, 8 alam na natin, 9 alam na natin. Any questions before we end? Ay, sorry, wait lang, sorry. Correct, yeah. So, just as a hint, dahil nasa start pa lang tayo ng accounting, most of the businesses that we'll discuss are starting businesses. So, pag kware, the term is, X company started their operations, automatic, and beginning balance is 0 for owner's capital. Pero kung kware, their capital from last year was 3,000 pesos. That's your beginning na for this year. Yeah. Beginning. Correct. Tatawid siya. Yeah. That's it. Any other questions? So please make sure na sa Facebook you've seen the problem set. So problem set due on Tuesday next week. Thursday, adjusting entries lang tayo. And I already uploaded the lecture. So please aralin nyo lang. Practice lang kayo ng journal entries. Thank you so much and have a great day.